Okay, hello everybody, this is Big Bang Crypto and welcome to the only video out there that can really answer the questions. Are we in a bull market? What is Bitcoin's next move? When will Bitcoin start to rise again? So where's the entry point? And when will the altcoins start to move? And I really think this video will blow your mind because I will answer these questions in a way that you will find nowhere else on YouTube. I've put a lot of work in this, and as a scientist I started with the question, what do I need to navigate perfectly with the Bitcoin DeLorean through Bitcoin's future? And I found everything that is necessary in Bitcoin's past. And today I want you to jump with me into the DeLorean and take a look at Bitcoin's history and focus on the information that we really need to answer these four questions. So let's get straight into it. As you can see, we are back in 2012, exactly 1 year before the first halving, and as you can see, at that moment the first wave started. And after reaching the highest point, Bitcoin fell into this channel for 21 days, and after testing 3 times this channel line, Bitcoin was able to break through the main trend line, and after that point Bitcoin started to make 18% of gains, then fell 20%, made another 13% of gains, and made a 30% of correction in the last step. And this is something that we will see over and over again, as well as this 21 days by the first wave. Now, after breaking this main trend line, Bitcoin needed nearly 4 months to start the second wave. This is the second wave, and again, after reaching the highest point, Bitcoin fell into a channel, tested the channel line 3 times, and was able to break through the main trend line. And again, it started with making 25% of gains, a correction of 20%, then making 36% of gains, and then this last drop of nearly 30% again. And so you can see right now there are similarities between the waves. And after breaking this main trend line, Bitcoin needed nearly 4 months to start the third wave. And as you can see, this is the point of the first halving. And before this point, Bitcoin already made 2 waves. Now this is the third wave, again a channel, again 3 times of testing the channel line, breaking through the main trend line, starting with making nice gains, and at the end we have a huge drop of 50%. Well, this time we see this kind of a correction because this is a monster wave. At that time we could have made 1,202% of gains. Now, after breaking this main trend line, Bitcoin needed nearly 5 months to start the fourth wave. And as you can see, Bitcoin fell into this channel, tested the channel line 3 times. After that, it was able to break through the main trend line, made again in the first step very nice gains. But because this is the fourth and the last wave in the bull market, Bitcoin fell into the bear market, made from this point a 77% of correction. And as you can see, there is this valley, and Bitcoin fell into this valley, and very close to the point where we are 1 year before the second halving, Bitcoin is able to jump over the edge and start the first wave of the new bull market. And then we see the first wave of that new bull market, and again Bitcoin reached the highest point, fell into the channel, made 3 times of testing the channel line, and then was able to break the main trend line and started to pump in the first step. And then we had this huge correction of nearly 30%. And now what is important is that at that time the altcoins came into the game, and as you can see, the altcoins started to pump when Bitcoin made the first gain after breaking the main trend line and started to show us some kind of consolidation, and then slowly falling down before this huge drop. And this is the moment when the altcoins start to pump, and you will see this will repeat. Now, after breaking that main trend line, Bitcoin needed again nearly 5 months to start the second wave. And again, a channel 3 times testing, breaking through, making gains in the first step, and at the end we have a nearly 30% of correction, and the altcoins start to pump after that first movement to the upside. This is the point where you have to get into the altcoins to make nice gains while Bitcoin is falling. Now, this is the point of the second halving, and as you can see, again, we have 2 waves before the halving. So this is the third wave, 3 times testing, channel breaking through, making nice gains in the first step, and at the end we have a huge drop of, again, nearly 30%. So this is a similarity between the waves that we see, and as you can see, at that time we had a 75% of gains, making 34% of correction, and we were nearly 20 days in that channel. And the altcoins again start to pump after reaching that that highest point after this pump, and this is again the time to buy in. So this is the time window. We have to look very close. Watch very close when Bitcoin breaks the main trend line and makes this first step where it shows us very nice gains and starts to consolidate before it makes a huge drop. The fourth wave, channel testing 3 times, main trend line breaking through, and because this is the fourth wave and the last wave, and this is also the second wave after the halving, we fall into the bear market. And as you can see, again, we have a 70% drop after reaching that point. And as you can see in the first step, after breaking the main trend line, we see nice gains. And then Bitcoin fell into this valley. So we are seeing again this valley, and now very close to the point where it is 1 year before the third halving, Bitcoin is able to jump over the edge. So this is the proof for me that we are right now in a bull market again. So I'm telling you this because a lot of people out there are spreading that we are still in a bear market. Well, I can tell you nearly 200% of certainty this is wrong. We started the bull market because, again, 1 year before the halving, Bitcoin is showing us this jump over the edge. And as you can see, in the last days, we started with the first wave after that point. So this is a similarity that every bull market has shown us. And that is why I'm telling you we are in a bull market. Now, before I get to the first wave that Bitcoin is moving inside right now, I want to show you again the first wave in 2012 and the first wave in 2015. Keep in mind, 21 days inside of the channel, 21 days inside of the channel. After breaking through, we made 18% of gains in the first step. Here, after breaking through, we made 42% gains. Well, this could be because the FOMO at that time was much higher than at that time, and this is something that we have to keep in mind when we look at the first wave right now. So this is the first wave in 2019, as you can see, jumping over the edge 1 year before the halving, and the first wave starts. And what I really think will play out is that we will be inside of this channel something around 21 days, but not much longer. I could expect that Bitcoin could be something around 18 to 21 days inside of this channel. And at the moment, you can see we've been testing this channel line only for 2 times. So I'm waiting for the third time of testing this channel line, and this will be the moment when I think it is very likely that Bitcoin will start to move to the upside and break this main trend line. And I think because we've seen nearly 85% of gains after this wave, it is very likely to see a 36% of correction. There are some people telling that we could see a 50% of correction. I think this is very unlikely after the data that I've been collecting, and I've made a lot of calculations, and this is something that could be very likely. I don't think that we will get to the 40%, because as you can see, when we make 100% of gains, we've seen very often something over 40% of correction, and we only made 85% of gains, and that is why I think 36% correction is very likely. And when we make this correction, we will be somewhere around the $8,750 level range, and this is also a level that acted as strong support and resistance back at that time, as you can see. So here it is, resistance, support, support, resistance, and again support. And when we go back to the fourth wave at the end of 2017, you can see that again we're seeing that the 8,750 level is acting as resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, and again support and resistance and resistance. So this is a very important level for Bitcoin. So that is why I think it is very likely that at this point Bitcoin will start to move up again. This would be a 36% of correction, and for me, this is my strategy, the third time that Bitcoin will test this channel line, this is my entry point. I will get in, I will buy Bitcoin, because I think then we will break the main trend line. So there is a lot of way that Bitcoin can move to the upside at that point. So I can make really nice gains with that trade. And now after Bitcoin breaks the main trend line, there are two scenarios that are very likely. The first one is we see something around 40% of gains reaching $16,000, because I think there are a lot of people who missed the bottom and are now waiting for the chance to buy in at a low price. So this could be the reason why we move to the $16,000 level. After that, we will see a nearly 28% of correction. This will bring us back down to the $11,500 level, which also has been a very strong support and resistance level. So this is something that is very likely. Now the second scenario, and this is the one that I think will be playing out, is the one that we make 18% of gains and then make a correction of 20%, coming down to the $11,500 level. So this could be, as I told you, the level where we will see very a lot of support, and then Bitcoin will move slowly sideways to the next wave. And the question, when will the altcoins pump? Well, history showed us that after breaking this main trend line and making this first step of gaining, Bitcoin shows us this little drop, this time of consolidation, and this will be the time window where we can buy into the altcoins, or where I will be buying into the altcoins, because as I told you, history showed us that this is the time when the altcoins start to pump and Bitcoin starts to fall. And that makes a lot of sense to me, because when Bitcoin loses its dominance, the altcoins will win and start to make nice gains to the upside. So this will be the time where I will buy in. And the second entry point could be the moment when Bitcoin breaks this main trend line, because as I showed you, after that point Bitcoin starts to make gains in the first step. So you could make this trade, wait to the point where Bitcoin starts to fall down, and this will be the sign, all right, we will see a nearly 30% of correction. So this is what I've showed you after the last waves, and so this is a very likely scenario. But as I told you, I think this one could be playing out, and this is what I'm going to trade. Well, I hope this video was helpful. This is my strategy. This is not financial advice or something like that. But like I told you, I want to share all my information with you so that you get an idea of what can happen in the future. At the end, you have to make your decisions. But I think at the end, the chart never lies. And we've seen so much similarities between these waves. And I don't think that at this time it will be something else because it's always the same. And this time I think there is a high probability that we will see the same. And before I forget one important information, I also think that this is very likely because Bitcoin never could get higher than the highest point of the wave before after breaking the main trend line. You can go back in this video and control this. So we've never seen Bitcoin moving higher than the highest point of this wave. So I think that the $13,400 level will be the level which will act as big resistance, like we've seen back at the top of this wave. This was the 61% Fibonacci retracement level that acted as a really big resistance, and after that point, Bitcoin has been falling down, and at this time we've seen a nearly 30% of correction. So this is a huge resistance level, and I think this scenario has a very high probability to play out at the end. So thank you very much. Give it a thumbs up, guys, subscribe, and I will keep you updated very soon. I hope this video was helpful. Please write in the comments what you think. Thank you very much and have a nice day.